You are living in a chaotic period, and this is a space where creativity and social constructs collide, and the culture embraces it. I welcome you all to the Chaos Zone. This is Chaotic Culture with Ked the Pro. Proceed with caution. Good morning. So I took a little break here, guys, but I'm officially back. If you joined me for the last few episodes, once again, I definitely appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I had some technical difficulties here with my computer and with the Voicemeter soundboard that I'm using. So I really couldn't get it to work the way that I wanted it to work until late. So unfortunately, I don't have Law with me. I'll probably have to record episode 6 sometime this week. That being said, it's all good. You know, these things happen, and unfortunately life happens, and there's just some shit that you really just can't control. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things have been happening these last couple of weeks. So as you can see, I did not record an episode for the 4th. Of course, we all celebrated Juneteenth this time around. The 4th, I really didn't do much. I sat around the house and I just chilled with my old man. So that was the extent of that. And I've been having issues with a lot of things lately. Of course, my car. I'm not going to delve deep into that, but just know that car's having issues. I'm trying to get them fixed. May have to get a new car. Life happens. My job. 2 people at my current branch are leaving. One is going to Richmond. The other is going to another branch around the corner. Or as around the corner gets. It is going to be rough. It's going to be rough these next couple of weeks. Trying to train a couple of new people. But at the same time, I mean, I'm ready for it. But that being said, I'm also burnt out, or I feel burnt out on my job because I haven't had a real vacation in a while. The last time I took a vacation for real, maybe January when I took the whole week off for Honda Battle of the Bands. I did take a day or 2 off for my godbrother's wedding, but you know, I had to travel, so in truth, I was not well rested. And it's not really I haven't had a good sit down break from the job since COVID happened, and it's been rough. It's been really rough. I can't really explain it. With that in mind, you know, still here, still living, still thankful to God that I got good family, good friends, still being safe. You know, I wear a mask all the time now when I'm out and about at my job or in public, not taking that damn thing off. I refuse to. For those of y'all who finally saw the occupant of the White House finally wear one, well, it took him long enough. Not that that matters, but still. It's just one of those situations where you're like, man, the leader kept saying that this was a hoax, that, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, you know, with the percentage of the death rate, that means 99% of America will be okay. And he desperately wants kids to go back to school. So I have some thoughts on that. I do understand the issue that a lot of parents are having because a lot of parents are still going to work and they don't have the necessary tools to homeschool their kid or to have their kid learn virtually. It's like they cannot be in 2 places at once. It's so they have to find a way to make a living. I get that. They have to work. I get that. Some jobs require them to actually be in the office and they can't work from home. I get that. But at the same time, you're putting your kid at risk, another kid at risk, teachers, faculty, staff at risk. It's a lose-lose situation. I mean, granted, yeah, you're gonna fall on some hard times, especially in considering that you probably will have to take a break from your job just so that your student can learn effectively. Because I'm not sure learning virtually is the best way for a student to learn. But then again, everybody's a different learner. So you've got the audio, visual, and kinetic learners. Like, it's different having to go virtual. Some kids still performed well, others have not. This includes college students as well. But that being said, it's all about the safety. I'm not going to say that, we're not worried about your well-being, or we're not worried about your cost of living or your lifestyle, because I know that you have to have a job. I know that you have to work. I know that you have to make money so that you can keep a roof over your head and that you can keep clothes on your back and food on your table, and to be sure that your kids are protected and to be sure that your kids have the same necessities. But what if you sent your kid to the school and then they come back, you get them tested, and now they've been tested positive for COVID-19, and then they spread it to you and you don't survive, then what? Or your kid comes back with it and infects somebody else in your family, then what? Or your kid gets it and ends up spreading it to other kids, and either those kids pass away or their parents and family members pass away because they ended up spreading it to them. Then what? Are you willing to risk your kid possibly either getting extremely sick or passing on such a contagious disease to somebody else that the other kids get extremely sick or their family gets extremely sick, or worse, for all parties? Are you really, really, really willing to risk that? As hard as it is, as hard as virtual learning is, as difficult as it may be, your job will probably come back. Even if it's not the same job, a job is going to come back. Your kid and your family don't. You only get one life to live. I don't know why that's such a hard concept, but I do understand that some people just can't survive without working. I get it. I do understand that some households are not going to have the same tools for virtual learning as another family. I get that. And I hope that the school districts are able to plan effectively for that. Take my college, for example. Hampton University decided for fall semester that they are going to be 100% virtual. So that first question of mine is, okay, so what's going to happen with the international students who can't get home? Or the international students who have found a way to get home but do not have the internet capabilities to learn online? That was a couple of my first questions. But ultimately, I thought to myself, well, for the kids here in the United States, or for the students here in the United States, there's probably a good reason for that, because you've got a lot of students coming from Florida, a lot of students coming from Texas, a lot of students coming from Georgia, A lot of students who are coming from New York, which, by the way, New York has done such a great job with getting their numbers down to the point where today, I believe, is the first time that they did not report any deaths due to COVID-19, which is absolutely incredible and amazing. They were able to save lives. But back to the issue at hand, you've got students coming from these states where COVID-19 is spiking in California too. So I know a lot of HU students have issues with President Harvey, but this was the absolute right call. I know a lot of freshmen are going to be upset because they didn't really get a chance to experience not only the end of their senior year, but also the beginning of their freshman year in college. They don't get to have that experience. And yes, they may miss out on a few things. But at the end of the day, your life is more important than that. Your health is more important than that. Your safety is more important than that. Rather you be home and be safe than you come into the school, which already has problems of mold, as well as some other issues going on with the school, and risking yourself and your well-being, not only because of the issues that are already prevalent on Hampton's campus, but then on top of that, you got COVID-19 running around as well. I don't think it's a good idea for students who are really, really trying to get on campus, especially the freshmen. I get the picture. I understand why you have these concerns, but let me be real. This is probably the best for every situation and for all parties, because not only are you protecting yourself, but we're also protecting your extended family members. We're protecting your friends from this terrible infectious disease that has taken out 130,000 plus Americans. I'm just going to leave it at that. For those of you outside right now, please remember, wear a mask. Even if you're outdoors, just wear a mask. Mask it or casket. Again, I've mentioned in earlier episode that this hit home for me because now I had a family member who passed from it. I don't need any more family members dealing with this, man. I canceled a trip to South Carolina just because I didn't want to get my mom sick, not knowing if I was an asymptomatic carrier. I'm not. I did get tested. I'm okay, but still don't want to take that risk, especially when you have older parents. My dad wears his mask everywhere he goes. I'm hoping my mom does the same. I know my brother is doing it because he's a dentist. He has to. But needless to say, there are going to be people who feel as though this is a violation of their personal rights. I swear, man, some of y'all don't care if y'all live or die because America, because of freedom. If I'm not mistaken, there was an issue in the past about having to wear seatbelts. Now, when you get in the car, you don't have to wear your seatbelt, but if you get pulled over, you will get fined and get a ticket for it. Or if you get in an accident, I mean, your life, not mine, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just being real. Like, yo, if it means protecting my life, I'm wearing a mask. It's simple. It's really, really that simple. And I just wish some people out there would learn to follow instructions. But you got those hardheads who are going to find out the hard way that you don't follow instructions. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Depends on if you want that action to be positive reaction or a negative reaction. And not following instructions oftentimes will lead to a negative reaction. So I do hope all of my folk are staying safe out here. So a lot of things have been going on lately in the world that I definitely have to hit on. Clearly, for those of us who saw Jada's Red Table Talk, there's that discussion of how Jada and Will's relationship is, as well as the incident with August Alsina. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Also, for those of us who are musical heads, we saw Hamilton finally on Disney Plus. I've watched Hamilton 3 times. I was a fan before I saw it because I had heard the soundtrack, and I'm just as big of a fan now that I've seen the musical. I know it's not for everybody, but I mean, hey, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of things that seem to be going on in our society that I'm not going to be able to cover in one episode, but just certain things to think about. So for the next segment, I'm just going to kind of share a little bit of light on how I feel about the whole Jada and Will situation. So don't move. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I am back. With that, before I go into the next topic, I just wanted to give a few shout outs to a couple of black businesses here. So for starters, shout out to Wing Bistro in Hampton off of Executive Drive. The wings have been pretty good. I've had it at least 3 times now. The wings can be a bit pricey, but the quality of the wings are A1. Not gonna hold you, they smack. So definitely check them out. Again, they are off of Executive Drive in Hampton, Virginia. If for those of you who are in the 757 listening to this, definitely check them out. Shout out to Island Crave, a black-owned Caribbean-style restaurant. Now, during the July 7th blackout, where they told us pretty much not to spend anything or spend any money on anything, I forgot to pack my lunch. So with that in mind, I said, okay, well, I had to spend money, but let me go spend it on a black business. And I definitely went and got some lunch from Island Grave. They came in the clutch. The cabbage is great. The jerk chicken I had was also pretty good. So definitely check them out. They are out in Norfolk. For those of us who are in the 7-5 listening to this, definitely check out Island Crave. Big shout out to my dog, my partner. Her name is Kiara Calhoun. That's one of my little ride or dies. I met Kiara in the theater, and that's my homie for real. I love Kiara, dog. She embodies the sweet Southern strong black woman. That I honestly can say that I love Kiara. And she's got a black owned business right now. She's actually starting to promote. She's known as a bougie bartender. So definitely check her out on Instagram. The name is @bougie. That's BOUGEE.bartender. And you can also follow her at Kiara Cow _. That's KIERA RACAL_. She is also a makeup artist. She does makeup. Check her out. To all my ladies who need their makeup done, she'll get you right. But also check out Bougie Bartender. It's a one-stop drink shop. I'm about to get into it as well myself. I'm gonna go in and support her because she knows I love those kinds of drinks. And from what I've looked, it seems to be non-alcoholic. So with that, for the sweet spots, if you are looking for shakes, slushies and snow cones, lemonades, limeades, that's the person you go through. For those of us who are in the 7-5, I'm pretty sure she's also going to market to her home as well, but I definitely wanted to throw that out there for everybody. So with that, I gotta at least talk a little bit about this Jada and Will situation, because it is, to me, it's kind of crazy. So we all heard about August Alsina when he was getting ready to drop his album, how he pretty much was involved with Jada Pinkett-Smith. Now, some people were, I guess, questioning the reality of that. They don't know if he was being real, or if Jada's camp was denying it. There were some rumors spreading around, of course, saying that, Will gave him his blessing. Because a lot of us know that Jada Pinkett-Smith and Will Smith have, and for lack of a better term, an open marriage. So, with that in mind, we did not know the validity of this story until Jada brought herself to the Red Table. And for those who don't know, she has a Facebook show called Red Table Talk. Check it out. She has different guests all the time, as well as her family. Talks about the different issues that those people come in with and how they can heal. So she brought herself to the Red Table, as well as Will. And she pretty much she confirmed pretty much that she had what she calls an entanglement, but pretty much was a relationship with August Alsina. So it's really, really difficult for me to talk about things like that, because I haven't been in a real relationship in such a long time, but just from the outside looking in, I can tell that this was probably not the best of situations for either party. For starters, this happened during a time where it looked like maybe Will and Jada would be completely split, like completely done. And so she wanted to feel good. And here comes August, who pretty much just comes waltzing into her life. I guess he knew their family, but he was really sick and dealing with a lot of issues, but just also not only physically, but mentally as well. And she saw this as an opportunity to heal, to work on him, to help him heal. So while doing that, they became romantically linked. And it's crazy because you are looking at a mid-20s, talking to someone who is, if I'm not mistaken, Jada is late 40s, pushing 50. And granted, I understand that August was looking for anything that he could to just get healthy again. And I guess he saw Jada as the outlet, and she saw him as the outlet to feel good again, to feel good about herself, to wanting that companionship, because I'm pretty sure she thought that her and Will's marriage, like her marriage to Will, was pretty much kaput. Oddly enough, she still catered those feelings towards Will, and it's obvious that they weren't going to be through with their marriage. And of course, August pretty much left the picture. But what's crazy is, I'm not going to say that Jada was wrong or that August was completely wrong. Like, both of them were wrong in two different ways. One, Jada looks like a user, or as our generation likes to call it, she looked like a real fuck boy, or fuck girl in this case, pardon the language. She pretty much had this, I guess, the city girl attitude in this case, just using him to feel better about herself. I'm not exactly sure what she saw on August, or and whatnot, but she needed something to make her feel better about herself, because I think she had really hurt Will, and I think she hurt him more by doing this. But needless to say, for those who don't know who August Alsina is an R&B artist who really broke out on the radio in 2013, 2014, but hasn't been heard as much throughout these last few years, again, because he's been really, really sick. So he just dropped an album not too long ago. So the way August is wrong is, some people think that maybe he dropped this because he wanted publicity for his album, which honestly may not all the way be wrong either. That part might be true. He might have done that for that, but he made what should have been kind of a private situation and brought it out to the public when he had that interview with Angela Yee of The Breakfast Club. And I don't know if that was the best time to do that, all things considering. It happened about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I don't know. And at least the Smith family thought that they were past that point, or over that hump and past that story. But clearly, sometimes things can happen. And in this situation, it was more so that you can't control what people do or what people say. And obviously, August spoke his mind and spoke about it. So it kind of forced Will and Jada to come to the forefront about it. I know Will was hurt talking about it, but I mean, they have an open marriage. So what you invite into your home and what you invite into your bed in an open marriage, I mean, you put yourself in those situations. Granted, they were split, they were separated for a time, so things are probably bound to happen, especially when you're somebody like Jada, who, according to her, I mean, she needs that kind of attachment in her life. But I honestly don't think anybody was healed in this situation. I think it only hurt August more. I think it opened up an old wound for Jada, and it also opened up an old wound for Will. Going back to that point, I think talking about it in the way that they did, they were able to come to grips that, yes, they can heal from it. But that kind of situation, I hope to never put myself or anybody that I'm romantically involved in. I don't want to put us in those kind of situations. That's really not a healthy way to survive. I mean, especially if you are emotionally attached to someone really, really deeply. Now, I'm not here, to degrade anybody who's into polyamory, or anyone who is polyamorous, or those who are into that sort of thing. I mean, if you want to be involved in polygamy or polyamory, that is 100% on you. I believe a lot of humans are kind of built that way anyway. I don't think all of us really are so geared to monogamy as we think we are, which is probably why a lot of people cheat. But soul ties are real. When you give your energy to somebody else, whether it be in a friendship or giving your energy to somebody else romantically. Soul ties do happen. And in this case, August and Jada became romantically linked, and it was clear that August had given a piece of his soul to Jada. And whereas he felt that that was the love of his life and that he was really in love, she only saw it as a short-term thing, or at least eventually saw it as nothing but a short-term fling. And that can be really damaging. And I just can't bring myself to think that I would ever put myself in a situation where I love someone, but they were only using me for my body. I don't know how I would feel. It's bad enough that I put energy into something and it doesn't get reciprocated as far as my feelings. As y'all have heard in previous episodes, like, I've been through such consistent rejection, it's starting to hurt. And unfortunately, I went through that again. And I had to take the L. But still, regardless, I don't know if I could do that. And I don't know any sane, human being would be able to do that if they've dedicated to somebody just to kind of have them use you and then rip your heart out, in front of your face, to go back to the thing that what they were really craving. At the same time, if in Will's situation, I don't know how I would feel either. Well, one, I'm not married, but still, if I know from Will's body language that he looked disturbed by it. And this is probably not the first time that he's dealt with it. And knowing their marriage, it probably won't be the last either. But this is what happens when you open up your relationship and your marriage and allow other people to come in, just because you have certain feelings or certain urges, desires. I just hope that the majority of us will learn not to be involved in what Jada calls entanglements, and we're able to move on past that point and go into things that are really, really real. Because entanglements can trip you up one way or the other. I know according to Jada and Will, that was a part of their healing process, but that kind of healing process don't work for everybody. I'm not a therapist, but it's just speaking from my experiences and just seeing from everybody else's experiences, marriages are going to have ups and downs, but those are some ups and downs that I don't think I ever want to go through. And I hope any normal person would not want to go through that either. So, that being said, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. That's, unfortunately, it's part of the culture, and everything that's been going on, that's just another part of the chaos that we have to deal with, is just learning who we are and learning what we like and who we like, and if we are committed to the standards of monogamy set before us, or if we find ourselves, wanting multiple partners. I don't know if I've gotten to that point yet, but I mean, shoot, who knows? Who knows? One thing I know I will not do is I will never cheat. But it is what it is, I guess, at this point. So with that in mind, just give me a sec. This is probably going to be a pretty short episode, so don't move. I'll be right back. Yes, sir. So Before I go on, just got to give a couple of shout outs here. Wanted to shout out some black podcasts that I think everyone should go listen to. One, of course, you should be listening to this podcast. That's obvious, but there are a couple of people who I definitely want you guys to check out. If you haven't checked out Unapologetic by my big brother Ricky Brown, definitely go listen to that one. I'm sure that you will find his conversation and his intellect very, very riveting. Also, check out this podcast. I actually they were the first to follow me when I made my page for Instagram. The Mermaid and the Lion Pod. I definitely want you guys to check out because it's built more like a story, and I think you will really, really enjoy the story that podcast brings out. Check out The Session 757. I'll admit this is one that I haven't checked out yet, but this is actually a podcast started by one of my bandmates. His name is Trey. I definitely recommend this podcast. It's him and his homie Jay. Like, listen to that. It's actually gonna be off SoundCloud, so I'm not sure if they're gonna post it on any other platforms just yet. But definitely take a listen. You will I believe you'll enjoy yourself, and I'm actually going to take a listen to it as well. Also, follow them on Twitter at the Session 9, and follow them on IG at the Session _757. Next, so I was pleasantly surprised to hear that I actually was one of the inspirations behind this podcast. It's called Nyctophiliaholic _radio. It is actually a podcast. To describe it, it says, if Hey You Up Text were a podcast. And it was started by my good friend NW, or Nia. Nia and we've had multiple late night conversations as well as midday conversations, and we vibe on a level that, honestly, I can say that she truly means something to my heart. So definitely check out that podcast as well. And of course, be sure that you follow my podcast. That's Chaotic Culture Pod. As well as follow me on IG. That's K3D the Pro. Also, when you get a chance, follow my homeboy and my co-host Lawrence. That's at L.JR_96. Also, follow me on Twitter. Twitter name has changed. It is now K3D the Pro, or Ked the Pro. It's the first time I've changed my Twitter handle in like I don't know, 10 years. So yeah, go ahead, follow that. Again, K3D the Pro, or Ked the Pro. And lastly, if you're on Facebook, check me out. Check out my page, Chaotic Culture Podcast. Any messages that you guys want to send me, just send me a message. If you want to be a part of this podcast, let me know. We can go ahead and try to schedule one. I did want to schedule another guest of mine, but again, because of broken down technology as well as just conflicting schedules, we'll have to reschedule. But I'm hoping to get more guests on here, so that way we can talk about the things that they want to promote, as well as some things that are on their mind as well. Shout out to Ari Lachelle and Carmi Nasa, both two talented, beautiful singers. I know Ari's going to be in Atlanta. Nasa's just hanging around the 7-5 for a little while longer, but shout out to both of them. They truly have my heart. Please go follow them, and please go listen to their music. Ari just dropped a video. Go check it out. Go check out her Instagram. I'm pretty sure she'll have the links available for you to go check out her video. So with that, one of the things that gave me a bit of joy during this 2-week break was seeing Hamilton finally come to Disney Plus. Now, I became a huge fan of Hamilton when one of my theater homies, his name is Dwayne Richards, he introduced me to it when we were, of course, a part of a production. I can't remember which production it was because me and him have been involved in the theater at Hampton for so damn long, and we did so many plays. It was just like, yo, what? I can't remember which one where he introduced me to Hamilton, but I appreciate him so much for that, because him introducing me to that led me to the soundtrack, which led me to the mixtape, which finally they put the Hamilton Broadway performance on Disney Plus. And I know it's not for everybody, because a lot of people either don't like musicals or they like musicals done a certain way. But with me being such a fan of hip hop, I love this musical. It's more so in the style of an opera, because there's not a lot of like dialogue between numbers. It's mostly singing and rapping. But the way that the rap was styled, as far as traditional Broadway, hip hop, R&B, jazz, it really was a piece of work. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, he really created a interesting project based on the story of Alexander Hamilton. If you have not seen that musical, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I definitely recommend it. It'll definitely give you some perspectives and some interesting things that you may or may not have known. And of course, the story is, dramatized, because there are some parts that are maybe not necessarily all the way true, but I mean, it is based on a true story. It's not really, to the letter factual. Again, it's a show, so not everything is going to be 100% factual, but definitely check it out. One of the musical numbers that I would definitely say that you guys need to listen to is Wait For It, by Leslie Odom Jr., who actually plays the part of Aaron Burr, who is the narrator / antagonist of this production, and kind of falls into the category of an anti-villain. Somebody who has good intentions, but just, goes about it the wrong way. That's the vibe that I felt from that. But definitely listen to Wait For It. The Room Where It Happened is also a number that Leslie Odom Jr. does perform. Those are, I would like to think those are some great songs on there. Also, Yorktown, The World Turns Upside Down. Satisfied. Goodness, Satisfied was one of those numbers I just was blown away by. Renee Elise Goldsberry, she's a talent. She is a talent when she performs this song. She plays the part of Angelica Schuyler. But when she performs this song, you're just like, wow, yo, I did not know that she had the mental capacity to actually perform that song, but she really kills it. And I knew she was talented since I saw her in Rent. And yeah, she killed that part too. So, and for those who aren't familiar with Renee Elise Goldsberry, if you go to Netflix, there is a show Altered Carbon that she is part of, and you'll just see how good of an actor she really is. But I would definitely, she's also a singer as well, so yeah, definitely check out that song Satisfied. The other ones are really good as well, but those three are the ones that like really, 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 really stood out to me, other than 10 Dual Commandments. Excuse me, those four that stood out to me other than 10 Dual Commandments. Excuse me, because I did say Yorktown. Definitely check out the production. You just gotta watch it. It's really kind of hard to describe, but definitely check it out. I'm a theater kid, so of course I loved it. I'm pretty sure if you're into theater as well, you'll love it as well. You'll pay attention. You'll really like it. Shout out to Dwayne. His Instagram is Dwayne in 3D. That's DUANEIN 3D. Check him out. Dude is a talented artist. Dude is a talented actor. He can write off a production. Great performer, if I do say so myself. That's my man, 50 grand. I just hope that he finds what he's looking for as well, man, because we all out here struggling. And I hope that he knows that I support that my man 100%, and no matter what endeavor he decides to go in. So hopefully, we'll be able to reconnect and hopefully, sing some more songs together, go out, get a couple drinks, talk about some ideas that we got on the table, and then just go out into this world and absolutely kill it. So, with that in mind, guys, I am going to sign off here. It has been an interesting and a short episode, but just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on that whole Jada and Will situation, as well as the Hamilton with Dropped. The one thing that I will say about Hamilton, though, is just if you're into musicals where like vocals are prominent, this might not be the musical for you, because I guarantee you it's a lot of rapping, and the artists, while they can all sing, they're not going to like blow you away with like incredible vocals. What you're just going to hear, though, is the way that the story was formulated and the way that the music was put together was really, really, really well done. So I think that is it for me. Again, please be sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Check out, again, my pages. Check out all of the Black podcasts that I just named. Also check out those Black shops and those Black restaurants that I named, and everybody out there who's trying to make a living and trying to kill it. Again, if you have a topic that you want me to talk about, or if you are looking to actually be a part of this podcast at any point in time, just be sure that you message me. I would prefer you message me through Facebook at the Chaotic Culture Podcast page, but if you got to, definitely message me either at Chaotic Culture Pod on Instagram or at Ket the Pro or K3D the Pro on Instagram. That is definitely a wrap for me, guys. Please stay safe out here. Please wear a mask. Especially if you're going into closed public spaces. Please wear a mask. If you are continuing to march, please do so safely. I know the narrative right now is that a lot of the colonizers want to label Black Lives Matter as a terrorist organization, but honestly, we know that this is not true. Every organization is going to have those outliers that maybe go a little too far, but Black Lives Matter is about protecting Black lives against police brutality and ending police brutality, and not only that, but racism in our police forces, as well as, in this case, reallocating funds to our education system and making sure that we demilitarize the police. Also, please be sure, guys, that you always keep God first. Remember that for me being a Christian, of course, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. For those of you who are Muslim, remember to keep Allah first. Remember the teachings of Muhammad. Pray to Mecca 5 times. For those of you who are spiritual, again, do what you have to do. Pray to the ancestors that they help guide you and keep you and give you strength. Burn sage, smoke weed, meditate, recharge through crystals. For those of us who kind of incorporate spirituality and Christianity all in the same breath as well, remember to live through the word, but also remember to recharge your energy, refocus your energy, pray, and meditate. And if you're going through a hard time right now, do not hesitate to seek a therapist. I'm looking for one myself right now. Granted, most of the therapists in the 7-5, or at least the black therapists, for whatever reason, don't take my medical insurance, which I don't know why that is. I'm probably gonna have to call my health insurance to find out what the heck. But yeah, guys, please, if you need a mental break, seek a therapist. If you're dealing with thoughts of suicide, please call the suicide hotline. Please find a therapist as well. And just remember that if no one else has your back, through this chaotic culture, I have your back. If no one else shows you love through this chaotic culture, I'm going to show you love. Also, remember, God is love. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace. Hold up. Before I forget, got to shout out a couple more people. One, first off, if you guys haven't listened, please go check out the podcast, Brutal Honesty with Kay Renee. That is my best friend, my indie out in Charleston, that her name is Shakana. She actually inspired me to help get this podcast started. So please go check her out. I guarantee you will enjoy yourself and enjoy the conversations that she has with her multiple guests, as well as the topics that she talks about. She's a bookworm. She's a sports head, and she likes to talk about life in general. She's very, very unfiltered and very raw. I try to curtail my language a tiny bit, but she doesn't do it at all. So be forewarned. She will speak her mind, but that's why I love her. So definitely check her out. Also, check out my homie Jerry Ray. She has a page, Jerry, that's JERI underscore RAE. But also check out Jerry Did That. She is a bomb poet. I gotta shout her out because she is like one of the definitions of like spoken word. And I consider myself a poet too, but like she's bomb. Like she'll blow your mind away, literally. Like go check her out. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Also wanted to at least give one shout out to one of the homies in band who is a producer, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention him, because I know he's trying to find his way as well. He is, how to best describe it. He's my little homie. He plays some cymbals. Got some great music out there. Got some great beats. Check out Michael Quarter or Quarter. You can follow his Instagram. That's Quarter TV. And that's Quarter spelled with an H. So that's CHORDER TV. Check him out. Guarantee you're going to be blessed hearing that music. And then finally, check out 143 Imogen. It's my homie Imani. Check out her music as well. Instagram is going to be 143 IMOGEN. And sorry if I'm spelling things out, but you got to be sure that you spell these things out for people who may or may not, are looking for the page and for whatever reason can't find it because they might have spelled it a different way. So check those folks out. That's all that I had, guys. So I appreciate your time. God is love. Stay cool, stay black, stay safe, be blessed. Peace. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and go back and listen to all the other previous episodes as well. Be sure to follow Chaotic Culture Pod on Instagram, as well as my personal page, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro. Be sure to like the page on Facebook, as well as follow me on Twitter at ProKed the Great. That's PROK3D the GR3AT. If you like this beat, shout out to RJ Stackhouse. Be sure that you also follow him on Instagram as well. And I hope that we've been able to bless your ears today. Until next time, folks, this has been Ked the Pro with Chaotic Culture Pod. Be blessed, be safe, God is love. Peace.